I think we all know where this is going.
The Fortnite UI is a story of humble beginnings, reaching greatness, and the fall of convenience. This topic is very important because it is the foundation of the game. It's how you interact with it. And today, I'm going to tell you about it. I will mainly be focusing on the locker UI and the item shop UI, but I will briefly mention the in-game HUD because it is also evolved quite a bit up to this day. But before we go any further, you might want to write this down in case there's any confusion up ahead. UI is an abbreviation of user interface, aka what you see. UX is user experience. This term is used by developers to identify what the player experiences when interacting with the UI, and it will rot in the dumpster later in the video. Finally, HUD means heads up display, i.e. health bar, shields, ammo count, etc. Lastly, trust me, this is the last thing, I am not going to cover LTMs with custom windscreens, the weapon bench, and every single HUD iteration starting from 2011 to the release of Save the World, as it will take an extraordinary amount of time, and Jesus Christ! I'll start off with in-game HUD because it didn't get any major changes all that often, thank God. Before Season 1, everything looked more or less as it would in Chapter 1. You have your health, map, weapon slots, what the fuck is this? Thankfully the backpack menu was fixed during Season 1. In Season 5, they changed the windscreen from just a PNG splash to the animation with those anime running triangles at the corners of the screen we all know and love. In Season 8, they added Arena to the game, and the counter of points, as well as the point notifier, were the same as for tournaments. In Season 9, they changed it to this purple bar with white borders, and the same thing applied for point notifiers. Chapter 2 changed the health bar design and position, moving them from the center of the screen like in PUBG to the left corner and making them slated and volumetric as well as adding this Modern Warfare 2 level and XP bar at the bottom of the screen. In Chapter 3 Season 2, with the addition of Zero Build, they flattened the health bar, added the overshield symbol, and gave it this half-opaque background. In Chapter 4 Season 2, with the introduction of Ranked, with its percentage system, there's now no life counter of your rank progression, meaning you have no clue how far you're progressing or regressing. Thankfully, in Chapter 6, Epic added your current rank display, and if you squint your eyes just enough, you'll see it before getting one-pumped. In Chapter 7, squad members were moved from the top left corner of the screen to the bottom left corner of the screen, and the UI got slight quality of life improvements as well. During the last season, Ranked received 4 new ranks, those being Elite 2 and 3 and Champion 2 and 3. And now, your ranked icon is more visible, displaying not at the bottom corner of the screen, but instead at the top of your health bar. And finally, with the start of Season 3, there's now a new rank called Unreal Legends, which uses a counter to determine how many points you've gotten that you still can't see during the game. Reload and Blitz have their own exclusive additions to the HUD. When you play Reload as a solo, you can see how many reboots you have left. Blitz has its own leveling system, similar to the ones from Super and Shock and Awesome. And as for the Battle Pass menus, good, great, amazing, what the fuck, and Going back to Season 0, there's a horrendously bad team fill section. Seriously, this thing confused me so many times, it was so weird to use on console. And you might notice there's no item shop, locker, or battle pass menus. Epic quickly added them in Season 1, and for how simple they are, they work surprisingly well. You have your emblem, your skin, pickaxe, and glider. Right now, there are no emotes because the only one you can do is the default dance, which, fun fact, you don't really care, do you? The item shop in Season 1 consisted of 2 sections. Weekly items, with 2 purchasable items, and daily items, with 4 purchasable items. As these names imply, these cosmetics rotated every day at midnight, at least in the UK, and every Monday respectively. As for the lobby itself, it only had 3 tabs. The lobby, the leaderboard, and stats, which displayed your kills, wins in different types of modes. When Fortnite first released, we got a Halloween-themed background lobby instead of the default black and blue grid. In Season 2, the menu received a new column for the Battle Pass and renamed Stats to Profile. With the Christmas update, we also got a new background for the lobby, which was themed around Christmas. The locker received 6 new slots, all dedicated to emotes. Later in Season 2, the locker was enhanced a bit more, now being organized with your emblem and skin receiving dedicated tiles, and all emotes were put on the bottom as opposed to be mashed into everything. Season 3 gave us a dedicated challenges tab for XP rewards, and the daily section in the item shop has 6 cosmetics now. The locker got yet another update. Now you can select different backblings to go with your skin, because previously you could only run the backbling with its specific skin. For example, Black Shield only with Black Knight. Now players could make all kinds of combos with their skins, but that's a different story. What was new was the brand new contrails, which were and still are pretty much useless, and a dedicated loading screen slot, where you could select different kinds of concept arts and renders to show up while you're loading into the match. I'm still using Cosmic Revolution to this day! In Season 4, they removed the leaderboard for some reason and changed the profile tab to career. Nothing much changed in the locker, but you could now randomize the cosmetics you could run with and favorite set cosmetics. Season 5 now allowed you to change the style of your skin without multiple presses of a button, and the item shop got scrolling items that were from the same set. Season 6 now had a dedicated tournaments tab called Events, and they renamed weekly items to featured items for some reason, and the locker got an insane overhaul in its visual design, and now you could select your own lobby track. Season 7 overhauled the locker yet again. This time everything was shifted to the left instead of centered, kind of something like this, as well as sorting your cosmetics by favorites only, selectable styles only, etc. The item shop now became a place of profit to some with the introduction of Support a Creator program, where now when buying anything with V-Bucks, you could give your favorite content creator a small portion of your money. Unfortunately, I don't have a Support a Creator code, but if you do want to help me out, you could type out your credit card number and the locker didn't receive any changes for Season 8, thank Christ, and the featured items in the item shop received an extra slot. They also renamed the events section to Compete, as to not confuse anyone with live events. Season 9 gave every text box a Burbank big condensed font. Season X received the Community Choice tab in the item shop, where we could decide which skin would return in the next shop rotation, and that's about it. We wouldn't get any major overhauls to the UI up until Chapter 2 Season 1, when they decided to kill 3D backgrounds, made the lobby more in the theme of the chapter, aka just change the position of the play and select mode buttons, introduced medals, aka accolades, and during Fortnite 2019 made the shop much larger, with featured items now having 4 different slots. During Winterfest, they introduced limited time offers. They were just bundle switched from the V-Bucks column to the item shop. And when May the 4th event was happening, they added a whole section for the Star Wars skins, which were now their own rarity among Icon, Marvel, Ice, DC, Dark, Lava, Gaming, and Shadow Rarity or Series or whatever you want to call them. Chapter 2 Season 2 now allowed you to make your own presets, meaning you don't have to waste a lot of time changing the skin, the pickaxe, and could now just change and save your combos in 2 clicks. The shop received a new tab called Special Offers, which was just 2 extra cosmetic slots. Season 3 removed the grip background of the locker and is now just blue, which was very boring and still is, and also moved the presets to the right, whatever that may mean. Season 5 made an insane overhaul to the item shop, now showing much more items at the cost of scrolling up and down instead of left and right, and also introduced the early version of the Discover tab, which will haunt us later. Season 7 overhauled the Discover tab and introduced a dedicated fill button which was removed in the next update. Season 8 improved the sorting and filtering feature. Chapter 3 Season 3 now allowed you to select your team mode without going to the mode select screen. Chapter 4 Season 2 introduced 4 new buttons to the locker: Clear New, Revert Changes, Randomize All, and Clear All. And Fortnite 2023 is what I like to call the start of the end. Moving the play button to the left for some reason, rounding up the buttons, and introducing the Survivor Quest tab. Anyways, Season OG changed the item shop to make it look a lot like how it was in Chapter 1. And during the Big Bang update, they butchered everything as well as gradually removing Burbank Big Condensed font. And now, enter Chapter 5. I don't think you need an IQ of Einstein to understand that this redesign is not only an ugly, abysmal piece of dog shit, but also incredibly uncomfortable. And you don't need a PhD in psychology to understand that whatever crack Tim Sweeney was smoking fucked him up so bad that now he's getting piss shot in his head every 3 seconds. With the introduction of the metaverse, we received 3 new sections in the locker: cars for rocket racing, rest in peace, instruments and jam tracks for festival, all of which could be used in Battle Royale. They split the character, emotes, raps, and lobby into 4 different sections. So if you wanted to use a specific combo with specific raps, you had to change it twice as opposed to once like before. They also introduced a new cosmetic type called Aura, which was usable only in festival, but in Chapter 7 Season 3 you can now use auras in Battle Royale when you get a win. Thanks! At least the item shop now shows the skins when you're hovering over their icon, and it also shows you when the skin leaves, thanks to that lawsuit. And that's the only good thing about the item shop, because now there's less cosmetics and they're all stretched out like they're in Photoshop. Why the fuck does one car take an entire page on my screen? Surely they'll revert these changes after the community had a fit with them, right? Alright, at least the compete tab is still the same. During Remix, they added a new section in the character menu for kicks, aka overpriced shoes, as well as remove the survivor quests. Anyways, in Chapter 6, they added a save loadout feature, which allowed you to save your combos like you used to before Chapter 5. Thanks a lot, I guess. They also allowed you to use your instruments as pickaxes. They overhauled the item shop, so now there are more items on display. The icons got even smaller in Chapter 7, and the skin PNGs now go over the icon, which I think is kinda cool. Back to Chapter 6 though, they introduced Sidekick slot as a dedicated slot, independent of your character, that takes an entire page during the Simpsons season, which I don't think is cool. And finally, they added 3 new passes: the OG Pass, Festival Pass, and Lego Pass, which all take an entire page and you have to scroll through each. Which brings us to current day, where now the Battle Pass is split for each character page you can select. Now, considering we went through literal hell and back over the last 3 years, is the current UI good? Fuck no! Is it better than Chapter 5? I mean, I guess, but that's like praising Apple for going back to flat edges instead of smooth edges on their iPhone 12. They did the same thing they did 10 fucking years ago. I know I'm not the right person to be the judge here, but I think I know one who is. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to a member of Fortnite Friends, whose video about the UI redesign you probably saw during the remix season, Tedesco.
What is up, everyone? I'm Tedesco. I just talk about Fortnite on YouTube, pretty much.
Just a heads up, this is my second interview with Tedesco because I accidentally deleted the first interview and I forgot to turn on the microphone in this one. So I'll voice the questions. Please don't kill me. Question number 1. What is your favorite version of each menu.
For the lobby, pretty much anything from Chapter 1. Just the 3D backgrounds, so peak. Displayed all the information you need. You had some challenges on the screen as well. Battle Pass, the Season X menu, like a modern version, or like a modern overhaul of that original Chapter 1 Battle Pass menu. Challenge menu, I gotta go for my GOAT. Season 8 challenge UI with the nice looking thumbnails and all that. That was in the game for, I want to say, like almost a year. I would say the Chapter 1 locker UI right before there was an update in like towards the end of Season X. But basically right before that, it showed 8 cosmetics in a row. Anything you favorited would be brought to the top. Both of those were changed in Season X, where it only showed 6 in a row, and favoriting cosmetics didn't really do anything. But it just looked nicer. It was all like more zoomed out. You could see more on the screen, and everything just felt kind of like fast.
Question number 2. Do you think the UI has improved over the last 3 years or since Chapter 5?
They kind of like went back to the roots of the game's design. You have the more like wonky looking shapes and the Burbank font. They're pretty well designed. There's been small updates to the locker over time. I really like how there's 8 emote slots now, and they're in a wheel, so you can actually see what slot they're going to be put into. Other than that, I mean, there's also been some pretty questionable changes, like the new Battle Pass design, the new quest menu, which they made a new quest menu like last year. I thought it was pretty good, but they changed it up again. So I don't know. Like there's been improvements, but it doesn't seem like there's a consistent direction.
Question number 3. What big changes would you implement for the UI, and why would it be making it properly work on console? Because I swear to fucking God,
I don't know. I haven't played console, so I haven't like ran into that issue. But sure, we'll fix that. Ideally, they just implement my UI designs, but that's not going to happen, right? So honestly, something I could see them doing is just take Fortnite.gg's cosmetic directory website thing and just implement that. Like, this website is basically Fortnite.gg/cosmetics. They show every cosmetic in the game. There's really good ways to sort and filter all of them. And Fortnite has even collabed with this website for the live event. They were doing teasers that the community was putting together on this site. They've even shouted them out on their main Twitter a few other times. The devs use this site. Like, everyone is on Fortnite.gg, and their cosmetic directory works so much better than the one we have in game. So straight up, just copy it, bro. Or just, I guess collab with them. Send them a nice paycheck to basically implement this directory that already exists and is being used by Epic employees.
Question number 4. If you were Tim Sweeney for one day, what would you change for the game? Please note, you can't say gaming yourself.
Oh, damn. I'm forcing the festival team to make a Dua Lipa icon season. And then I'm hiring Ali Jax for Fortnite to head Fortnite OG, rerun it from season 1, and actually fix the game. And then, yeah, I'm quitting, bro. I'm not going to do like the Miles Morales, Spider-Verse gif where he falls off the building, me in the last second of Elon Musk's body. But yeah, I'm out. And I think with Tim Sweeney out, like, the metaverse just falls apart.
Question number 5. Do you think it's completely over for us all, or is there still a chance we might be Barack?
There's a chance of both, man. I don't know. So like I said with the sprite and with the rivalry menu, they're like, it's like a modern take on the old school designs, but it seems like the stuff is kind of locked to Battle Royale specific stuff, and the main game's menus, like the main lobby menu and discovery and the locker, it's kind of more bland because of the whole metaverse direction. I think in terms of like the design philosophy, it kind of just depends on like current design trends. Like in the game, we got rounded corners, we got like the animated highlight when you hover over something. That's just a trend that there's been in design over the last few years. So, I don't think there's ever been something that wasn't broke that Epic didn't feel the need to fix in this game. They're constantly updating stuff. I think they're going to keep on updating and, in quotes, evolving the UI in the game. Whether that's going to be for the better or for worse, depends. I can't say.
And finally, any wise words to the people watching this video?
Any wise words? You should log on to Fortnite and use code.
Subscribe to Balatro.
And with that, we come to a halt. Will Tim Sweeney finally stop smoking crack and fix the UI, or is the future of the game looking bleak? We may never know. One thing is for certain, it has been one hell of a ride. I'd really appreciate if you subscribe to my channel and also check out Tedesco. He makes really good videos about all kinds of topics around the game. And out of any scared